Hi, I'm Karl Konrad, the founder of Australian Immigration Law Services. For 22 years, our teams has been helping those wishing to live, work and study in Australia to get the visas they're looking for. We are registered migration agents based in Sydney, but thanks to technology, we are lucky to meet and help clients from around the world. If you're thinking about living in Australia, do subscribe to our channel to get the videos on visas, requirements and important updates. Now today we're going to talk about the 190 visa. It's often thought that the 189 visa is the best visa one can get, but we really recommend the 190 visa instead at the moment due to the current quota restrictions. Of course, we hope the quotas for the 189 visa will be increased, but it's best to plan for a second pathway now. The 190 visa was often considered a Plan B option in the past, but we recommend to people to shift their focus and make it a Plan A option instead. And this is why. Permanent residency. If you're granted a 190 visa, you are a permanent resident, and it's just the same as the 189 permanent residency visa. There are no conditions attached to the 190 visa, just like the 189 visa. The 190 visa is unlike the 491 visa, which is only a temporary resident visa and has a pathway to permanent residency. Now, don't get me wrong, the 491 visa is still a great visa to obtain, but let's just say it should be your Plan C. Please check out our video about the 491 visa in the link at the end of this video. Higher quota. Every year the government sets a limit on the number of visas granted. For this financial year, the 190 quota is nearly double that of the 189. Now this may change from year to year, but it's likely the state or territory sponsorship will be the priority of future governments. More occupations. The 190 visa is a skilled visa, and this means you are being granted your visa based on your ability to contribute to Australia. Different visas have different lists of eligible occupations, and the 190 visa has currently 215 more eligible occupations than the 189 visa. The Immigration Department has separated the occupation list by its type, but we have compiled a complete occupation list guide to make it easier for you. It's on our website and you'll find a link in the description below. Five points. The 190 visa is a points-tested visa. Your score points are based upon your age, education qualifications, work experience if you've studied in Australia, and so on. Generally, candidates with higher scores are preferred. The state nomination scores you 5 points for just being nominated. Since state nomination is already a requirement for the 190 visa, you are basically getting 5 points for meeting the requirements. And more on the nomination in just a bit. Also, check out a link in the description below regarding the points test. Now, you don't have to stay. If you're worried about state nomination meaning you are restricted to staying in that state, it is not true. Since there is no conditions on the visa, you are free to move and live in any part of Australia. Now, the sponsoring state or territory, of course, would like you to try and settle in the region as you agreed. However, there is no restriction on your visa, and whether you stay or if you leave, it is your personal decision to make freely. You will need to meet both the Immigration Department requirements as well as the state nomination requirements. Immigration Department requirements will be the same for everyone, but state nomination requirements will depend upon the state you are applying to. All state nomination means is that the state has selected you to assist you to obtain your visa. Selection criteria or nomination criteria are set independently by each state. The states also have different occupation lists, application processes, and sometimes application dates. Some states give preference to those who have studied in their states. Others require you to have worked in that state for a particular length of time. These requirements can change at any time. Because each state operates independently, it can be quite difficult to figure out what your best pathways are. For many states, if you meet their specific requirements like working there or studied there, then 65 points can be enough. This is very different to the 189 visa process, whereby the higher scores get selected. However, some regions like South Australia and New South Wales, the higher scorers have the better chance of selection. Nonetheless, we still recommend the 190 visa over the 189 visa as you are competing within the state instead of at a national level. There's a link in the description below to our video on Victoria nomination requirements, and we will be doing other states soon, so please do subscribe to see those. You will need to complete both a state nomination application and a visa application with the Immigration Department. As such, regardless of which state, everyone must submit an expression of interest through Skill Select and indicate their preferred state, after which each state has a different application process. Now, some are direct. The Northern Territory and Tasmania allow you to apply directly to them for nomination. If your application is approved, you will receive an invitation to apply for the 190 visa. With New South Wales, Queensland and South Australia, Western Australia, you only submit a Skill Select expression of interest and then they will decide based upon this. The state will send you an email to apply for the nomination if they like your EOI. If your nomination application is approved, you will receive an invitation from the Immigration Department to apply for the 190 visa. Although this is the simplest, it gives you no opportunity to make contact with that state until they send you the invitation. With Victoria and the ACT, the process is longer. You need to register your interest in that state in addition to lodging your expression of interest with the Immigration Department. They will then make contact with you to apply only if they are interested in what they see. If approved, you will finally receive an invitation from the Immigration Department. The ACT asks you to submit your interest by completing the Canberra Matrix. The matrix is ACT's points test and is different and has nothing to do with the 190 visa points test. Although this seems troublesome, it actually gives you more opportunities to boost your application to the ACT. The other states give vague preferences such as higher 190 test points and/or better English. With the Canberra Matrix, you know how well you are doing, and you can also see each month via their published invitation rounds what scores are actually receiving invitations. We covered the matrix last week and you can watch that video in the link below. Now these processes can change anytime like Victoria and South Australia did only a few months ago. Once you have your invitation, you are ready to lodge your application to the Immigration Department. You have reached the final stage. Of course, the Immigration Department do their own assessment of your application, and this is totally separate from the assessment you went through to gain the sponsorship for the 190 visa. You will need to meet the points you have claimed in your expression of interest, and we talked about the importance of certain documents still being valid when your invitation was issued. You can check out a link to this video at the end of this one. Now, health and character assessments will need to be met, and this is standard practice for all permanent residency applications. And if you have any issues in this area, please book an appointment with us to discuss them before you lodge your application. Now remember, you can always check out our website at australiavisa.com where we have many articles for your reference on many of these topics. Follow us on Facebook as well, as we post on changes of state requirements as well as let you know when applications are open for different states. I hope this helped you understand the 190 visa better. If it did, please subscribe to show your support. Turn on that notification bells to get your videos every week. And as always, take care out there and I will see you next time. So bye for now.